What's going on, everybody? It's Big T with GreenWallSt.com, back with another trading video, this time on RNXT. And the main thing I want to talk about and discuss in this video is the difference in being right and making money, because it's not necessarily one and the same when it comes to trading, and I'll explain why. This RNXT trade, you can see just based on the red and green triangles, red triangles where I shorted, green triangles where I covered. I've already tried to trade this stock twice and I lost both times. So I'm 0 for 2 on it. But it's very important in trading that you don't blow all of your capital or your risk per ticker, your risk per stock in one single trade. Unless you really love the spot, you really love the trade, you have to give yourself room to be wrong. So for example, I am willing to lose up to $2,500 on one stock per day. After that, I cut myself off from trading that stock because that's my risk threshold. So after 2 trades at this, I've lost $1,100. I'm down $1,100 trying to get the timing on this right. You know, I may be right on the bigger picture idea, but it might take me a couple of tries to get on the right side of it. But by sizing correctly and not losing that entire $2,500 on the very first attempt, I allow myself to be wrong, and I'm okay with that. And that's what I mean by, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? You know, had I just risked $2,500 on the very first try and lost, I wouldn't be able to trade the stock whenever it counts. And you'll see, I don't lose money on this third trade, but the idea was still pretty much wrong. So RNXT, you know, the trade idea wasn't broken until 14 broke to the upside. So I'm betting the stock is going to go down. Again, I'm trying to get the timing right. So every time we make a push towards new highs, I'm putting on a small position and I'm waiting for that moment where we start to flush down and I have a winning trade in order to add to. Because whenever I'm trading, I don't want to be adding against a losing position. I want to be adding into a winning position. So that was the goal. And here was the first time where I really felt like I was finally on the right side of it. So immediately I'm up, you know, $600 on this trade. But again, I'm down $1,100 overall. So I'm trying to find a good spot to add to this thing for eventually, you know, we get that flush underneath VWAP. So I'll kind of just speed it up here. Because this trade, you know, was about an hour long in terms of the bigger picture idea. But again, on the right side of it, I feel like now the trend has possibly cracked. So I'm adding size into a winning position. I'm now up $800 on the trade, but it's still not hitting, you know, where I think it's ultimately going, which is underneath VWAP or that green line. So, you know, I cover half of the position just to kind of size down a little bit so I can add that back whenever it bounces. And here's the bounce. You can see I add into that. And, you know, this was a key moment in the stock coming up where it tries to roll over. Actually, it's after this. So we start to bounce a little bit higher. I see that it's having a lot of trouble with 1150. Had it, you know, gone on and broke 12 here, I would have just stopped out again and, you know, giving myself yet another shot at it. But I can see it's having a lot of trouble. So I add my last bit and I finally have on a full size position, which for me on this stock is 2,500 shares. And I was risking a break over 12. Pretty sure I put the last half on. These stocks take a lot longer than you think. In the moment, it seems fast, but watching it back, okay, there we go. So now I add, I have that on, and it looks like I'm about to be right on this trade and like really nail it. So I've got about an 1135 average, it looks like, on a full size position. And if I'm right, you know, we're going to get that flush underneath VWAP. I'm going to cover 1050, 10, and, you know, life will be good. Oh, that happened fast. But you can see this is yet another instance where the stock should have broken down. It should have made that move, but instead it held. And those are the key moments in trading where you have to react fast and you have to make the right decision in the moment to cut that trade. even if it looked great, you know, 3 seconds ago, 5 seconds ago, it looks fantastic. It looks like support is about to break and we're done, but it just can't do it. And in that moment, again, you have to make the right decision. So I cover half of it there, which again isn't a profit. I had an 1130 average. And then once I see it reclaiming all of this, I know something's not right. So again, I cover the rest of it here for, looks like about, 1140, 1150, which is right before, you know, the stock popped. So at this point in the trade, I've really lost on it, or I've been wrong on the trade idea and the timing 3 times. I'm 0 for 3. Yet overall on the day, I'm only down $500. And if you remember, my risk limit per trade is $2,500, right? So I'm giving myself opportunities to be wrong. It's not about being right first try all the time, especially in the morning. And I'll go ahead and speed up to when, you know, I'm finally right on this trade. So into this breakout, I restart the process. I start in with smaller size, 600 shares, where I did have, you know, 2,500. And then as, again, the stock starts to break and I think I'm on the right side of it, I add into a winning position, 1,200 shares with an 1180 average. And this time I'm a bit more patient on the trade. I think I cover some into VWAP and then put it back on again, really the same way I traded it beforehand. This is me just kind of zooming out and trying to keep the bigger picture idea in mind, think about where this stock is likely to go if it breaks down. So here we go a few minutes later and the stock is starting to lose steam. You can see the volume starting to die down, and without new buyers, without more volume, without more momentum, it's really hard to get a stock like that to continue to move higher. And that is when I believe, we finally get the nail in the coffin there. And all of a sudden, now I'm up, you know, $1,500 on this trade, and I cover half of it. Once we come back, it halts down to 1004. I go ahead and set more cover orders for whenever it comes out of the halt, and I end up covering most of it underneath 10. So I cover a bit more there. And all of a sudden, a stock that I was wrong 3 times on and I was only right once, I finished up $1,500, really $1,559.81. But after commissions, it was probably closer to $1,500. But that just goes to show you the importance of sizing and giving yourself opportunities to be wrong. It's not about being right. If you try to be right too often in trading and you're trying to have 100% win percentage and you want to nail it right here and never be down and never take any heat on a position, it's just not going to work. But I hope that this trade shows you it doesn't need to be that way. You can be wrong as long as you are quick to cut those losses, admit that you're wrong, and make sure you're not risking too much on those trades to where you're paralyzed to try it again, either mentally or you've hit your max risk per ticker, whatever the case may be. You need to give yourself multiple opportunities to try and hit that trade. Again, unless it just looks perfect, it feels perfect, and you want to risk all of that capital on this one trade idea, this one spot, you can do that. I certainly do that sometimes, but especially right off the open before the ranges for the day are really built out, you just don't know exactly where a stock is going to bottom, where a stock is going to top. So it might take you a couple of tries, and that's okay. So again, it's the difference between being right and making money. This was RNXT. I was wrong 3 times, right once, but made $1,500. And at the end of the day, that's why we trade stocks. It's to make money. Thank you for tuning into the video. I hope that helped. GreenWallSt.com. We are still running a 5-day free trial. If you would like to join up, spend a week inside the Discord and trade these types of stocks live with us, feel free to do that. And if you don't want to do that and you just want to watch the videos, that's fine too. So thank you all once again for tuning in. I will catch you right back here next time. Peace out, everybody.